What's going on, guys? It's JJ, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a quick little portfolio update as well as the options trades I made this past week and actually the week before that as well because I missed last week's update. So what we'll be doing is taking a look at each trade I made and what the profitability looks like so far for this month of May and where I should be finishing out for my total amount in income from selling options. So without further ado, let's jump right into this thing. All right, so here is the Robinhood portfolio. Now this is the one I talk the most about here on the YouTube channel. I have other accounts I sell options in as well, one of them being my actual SEP IRA account. I do sell options in that account also. And you will see some of the moves in the spreadsheet that we'll talk about in a second whenever I show you guys each trade I made for these past couple weeks so far. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update like I do with all of these, option income update channels on where the portfolio is at and where it's been over the past week or so. So as of Friday on closing, the portfolio was up 2.68% or $180. And then after hours, it bumped up another 0.23% or another $76, $78 or so. For the past week, the account is up 2.22%. For the past month, it's up 6.3%. The past 3 months up 10.65%, and the year to date it's up 12.64%. So not bad starting off for the year of 2023, up 12.64% in the portfolio. But if we look at the overall lifetime of this portfolio, which we'll do here real quick, you can see I'm not doing that well. I wish I was up 12% in every one of these positions, but well, I'm not. So I will say this, some big movements that's happened over the past couple weeks is we have seen Google pop quite a bit. I actually got burned on, I don't usually buy options. I'm more of I strictly am a seller of options. I tend to not do buy options, but whenever I do buy options, they're more of YOLO gamble type plays, and sometimes they work out to my favor and sometimes they don't. And that did not happen with this Google play, which we'll talk about here in a second. I tried to buy it on a red day when the whole market was downtrending, and it didn't work out how I thought it was going to. But anyways, Google has continued to pop week over week. Palantir has been doing the same. Palantir has been popping recently quite a bit as well. Right now, currently trading at $13.84. And I mean, it feels like just yesterday, Palantir was trading at $4 or $5. So it's been crazy to see this and how fast this growth has happened in Palantir. One of the reasons we're seeing some of these stocks skyrocket as much as they are is because of AI. Any company that has to do with AI has been popping. You go look at NVIDIA right now. NVIDIA has been soaring to the moon. I don't even know if it's had a pullback yet, but NVIDIA has been completely just annihilating competition when it comes in this semiconductor space. You can see this. May 24th, it closed on 305, and then it popped up the next day on the 25th to 381. Unreal price movements in NVIDIA. Now, for me, I do not own NVIDIA. I do not plan on owning NVIDIA. The ETF I choose to use to kind of capture the movement in the semiconductor space is the VanEck Semiconductor ETF that is known as SMH. This is also an ETF I have thought about selling options with. I own this in my dividend portfolio. I talk about that over on my second channel, Dividend Freedom. You guys can check that out if you want to keep up to date on my dividend portfolio and where I'm at on that. That portfolio I do not touch whenever it comes to selling options. That is strictly building up those positions over there, continuously investing in that portfolio and not really doing anything with that. But for the Robinhood portfolio, the next plan with this is if I do end up selling out of my Palantir shares, I will end up turning that money and the other money once I get PayPal and Google up to 100 shares, I will be adding an ETF into the stocks that I will be selling options with. So I will be actually selling options on an ETF, and we'll probably be doing monthlies. I haven't decided which ETF I want to do this with yet. It may be QQQ, it may be VTI, not quite sure, but it may be SMH, it may be a sector-focused ETF. Let me know down in the comment section which one you guys would be using if you were choosing an ETF to sell options with. Let me know down in the comment section. Now, to move along to the trades I've been making. Right now, I only have 2 currently open trades, and that is 2 covered calls that I have on Palantir. I wrote these a while ago. I believe it was a week and a half ago, maybe. Well, we can look at it on the spreadsheet here. But before we get into that, guys, I quickly want to mention I did open up 5 new spots on the flash deal sale And if you guys are interested in joining the Discord where I list all of my trades real time whenever I'm selling options, buying new stocks, portfolio updates, every Friday morning I do a live stream with the Discord where we talk about the market, what's going on, what the next week looks like. There are 5 spots I opened up if you guys want to take advantage of that. It's only $2 a month. If you guys want to jump in the Discord, say, hey, come join the conversation. You guys can also post your trades, what you're doing. It's a way to just have like-minded investors that come in and discuss different topics, selling options, dividends, whatever it may be. But if you guys want to join, click the link down below in my description. You can sign up and get access and take advantage of this flash deal to the first 5 people that sign up from watching this video. Here's the spreadsheet. This is what I use. Also, all of those Discord and Patreon members get access to use the spreadsheet as they will. You guys can have access to this. You can download a copy of it, and you can start tracking your own options trades as well. So the dashboard, we look here. Last April, I had a nice month of $735. May is definitely not going to be looking like that by any means. As you can see here, my current premium profit is $209.73, and it would actually be quite a bit higher than that. If you look here, my only loss for this month was that Google trade I mentioned. It's the only buy of this month as well. Like I said, I typically don't buy options a lot. I'm more just a stick to being a seller of options, but every now and then if I think I can try to catch something, which I thought I could and definitely didn't happen, it was a red day whenever the stock market opened. I tried to get a quick little couple bucks, ended up turning right around. I had to sell out for a loss, and good thing I did because this would have expired worthless and I would have lost my entire amount of money I used to open this trade, which I believe was around $200 or so. So I lost $74 in that trade. Shitty, but sometimes it happens. I'm not always perfect. But if we look at the other trades I've made for the past couple weeks, we can see here, I'll start up with Robinhood, and I did write a cash secured put on Riot. They had some bad news come out from Binance. They halted withdrawals from Bitcoin on Binance. Riot and other crypto mining and crypto related stocks plummeted. I took advantage of it, wrote a cash secured put for a $16 premium profit. Now these trades don't sound like a lot, guys, but the reason I love selling options so much is because it is more of a conservative way, in my opinion, to trade options instead of buying options like I did with Google there. I do love selling options because I get to take control of the collateral, as well as I'm doing this with stocks I'm okay to own. So if I happen to get assigned and I either have to purchase the shares or buy the shares, or sell the shares rather at a certain price point, I feel okay with that. So I do this with stocks I'm willing to hold for a very long time. So starting with Riot, you can see that trade was $16 and I only needed $950 in collateral to make that trade. Now for the SEP, the 2 stocks I do trade in there the most when it comes to selling options is SoFi and Google. And right now I am writing a lot of cash secured puts on SoFi. And then Google, I've been trying to wait to see if price does decline for a bit. I don't know if that's going to happen or not anytime soon with this AI craze going on right now. So I may go ahead and write a cash secured put pretty far out of the money, but the problem is just the premium's not there and I'm making 5% of my money sitting in cash in that account anyways. So I'm not in a hurry to make that premium on Google when I have that money just sitting there earning 5% from Vanguard's money market account. Or a money market fund, excuse me. Now ATVI is a stock I have been writing covered calls quite a bit out of the money. You can see it's currently trading at $78 and I have it been writing at the $86 price point. That is because my average cost that it shows in the portfolio is around $86. My true average cost just based on this year alone is around $81. If I add into all of the premium I've earned from trading or from selling options on ATVI for the past couple years, it's a lot lower than that, but to be conservative, I don't focus on that. I do like to still, if I would happen to get assigned, I would like to go ahead and make some premium on selling the options, but also make some capital gains as well. Still waiting to see what happens with this Microsoft and ATVI deal. It's been going back and forth, and I do think there's still a bit of a long-term wait to see what happens. But so I also I'm not in a hurry to write those covered calls as quick as possible, because if we do happen to have a spike in price on some good news, then that is when I would like to take advantage of writing some covered calls there on my ATVI position. And then last, you have Google, which was the loss. We talked about that already. Robinhood is a stock I've been writing cash secured puts on in a conjoined account I have with Brad Finn. Him and I have a podcast together, and him and I talk about that portfolio and that podcast. If you guys want to go listen, it's now called the Push Through Podcast because we did kind of a brand change on that. But anyways, if you guys want to check us out, Push Through Podcast on anywhere you can listen to a podcast. And then lastly is the Palantir covered calls. I did write these far out of the money, but that was back, let's see, when I wrote these was 517 and 522. If we go click on Palantir and let's look at 517, Palantir was still trading under $10. So it's gone up all the way to almost, over $14 since I wrote those covered calls. One of them expires this Friday. The other one expires on the 16th. If it gets up to $18, I will probably go ahead and just roll this one out and earn some extra premium for that. And the other one, if it doesn't get to $16.50 by Friday, which would be crazy if it does, if this stock price just continues to climb, I may be selling out if it gets up to $16.50. I'd probably just sell out of my Palantir position. And then if we happen to see a pullback, maybe open up a few hundred more shares or write some cash group puts on Palantir if we see the stock decline. But right now at this point, I'm really just kind of holding it because it's not a huge position in the portfolio. And I've been bag holding this for a while. So if it does get up to that average cost that I'm at of $16.50, which again, that's not my true average cost because I have been selling options or writing covered calls for the past year and a half on this position as well. So it's quite a bit lower than that. But again, I tend to just like to focus on my average cost because it's more conservative, and I'd like to keep my premium profits as well as if I did get assigned, be able to make some capital gains on that as well. So there you have it, guys. That is an update on where I'm at from selling options. Current profit for this month is $209. So, nothing too extravagant. I have also something I forgot to mention is I have been not trading nearly as much these past couple weeks because of debt ceiling talks. Not quite sure how that's going to turn out. If they do reach an agreement, I do think stocks are kind of already a little bit priced in for that. But if it goes the other way and the U.S. ends up defaulting, stocks will decline rapidly. But if they do end up defaulting, then it's going to be some major headwinds in the stock market, and we will see some major price declines in the stock market as well. So I've kind of just been sitting back, coasting here for the past week or two, waiting to see what happens with that meeting, and then kind of play it day by day and go from there. But again, guys, if you want to join that Discord, come and join on the conversation. Catch those private live streams, my real-time trades on what I'm making and what I'm selling options with, portfolio updates, and just general conversation in there. I also post videos if you guys have questions or whatever it may be on selling options. So if you guys are interested in that, take advantage of that flash sale deal. Again, there's 5 open spots. Catch them until they're gone. So if you guys end up joining, I'll see you in the Discord. But guys, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Always appreciate it. And until next one, you all take care.